Hosea Yisrael, Hayamet Ethmete Shel Yehuda, Tehila Yahweh, Tehila Yahweh ben Yahweh. Peace and blessings of unto you, family. My name is Hosea Yisrael, and I exist from the tribe of Yehuda. Praise Yahweh, and praise Yahweh ben Yahweh. We will be diving back into the class of Hosea, deciphering, transliterating the truth back into the Hebrew Safah, right? The Hebrew language, where we will be able to look at with our magnifying glass and scrutinize with great discernment the word, so that we can have a more perpetual idea of what is being said to us, okay? But before we get started, we have to offer up our praise to our most highly favored, our most wonderful creator, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, and his visible, self-expressed image, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh Bet Nun Sofi Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, Yahweh ben Yahweh, who is Yahweh, as I already told you, is the self-expressed image of Yahweh himself. Praise Yahweh. As it says in Colossians chapter 1, verse 15, 16, and 17, that the Son of Man is the image of the invisible God. So that's what makes him the Son, because he is the firstborn creature to exist. Praise Yahweh. Right? Let's go ahead and get into it. It would be the Tefillah prayer, which is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Praise Yahweh. Let's face the east and let's get to it. Tefillah Avenu Sabashamayim Yikadar Shemeakar Tavomakul Teakar Yer Serizonkar Kivashamayim King Ba'adas Alakin Kenu Tain Lanu Hayom Uslak Lanu Akartienu Kimo Chaso King Gamananu Lakotein Lanu Beal Tefienu Lade Nisayon Kakal Seinu Minhara Kilaka Mamlaha Begivara Beteferet Leolame Olamin Sila. Praise Yahweh. All right. I believe where we left off at last was Hosea chapter 1, verse 6. So Hosea chapter 1, verse 6. Whoredoms, Israel lost mercy, and she conceived again and bare a daughter. And Yahweh said unto him, call her name Loruama, right? Which is Lachmed, Achlef, Resh, Hey, Mem, Hey. For I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel. But, see, there's a condition right here. But I will utterly take them away. Now, but in this occasion is a condition. And on the contrary, and yet, nevertheless, it holds an exception. Save is in the case of details as a preposition based on the placement of the pronouns following after it, and it is the objective placement, which will utterly take them away, right? So just keep that in mind. Verse 7 is, but, see, here go that but again, another condition. See, this but, believe it or not, goes with verse 6. Check this out. I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, right? And will save them by the Lord Yahweh ben Yahweh, their God. And will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, nor by horses, nor by horsemen. So the battle that will be fought for the house of Judah, or Yehuda, which is Yud, Hey, Wav, Dachleth, Hey, is a mind battle. The mind battle, right? The spiritual war, right? This is the subjectiveness, okay? This is the subjectiveness, right, of this but. See, again, who will Yahweh take away? Well, he's going to take away the house of Judah, and he's going to secure us. He's going to have mercy upon us. Because why? The Lord Yahweh is born from the tribe of Judah, as it says in the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 14. The Lord sprang out of Judah, right? But when it appears at the beginning of a sentence and pronouns follow it, it is now a subjective case. Look at that. Now, just looking at the objective case and the subjective case, we're going to go more into these definitions so that we can understand and broaden our horizon, right? Again, we need to understand what the scriptures are saying to us. Objective is something that one effort or actions are intended to attain or accomplish a certain purpose, goal, objective. In case of grammar, by a word or others belonging to the object of thought rather to the thinking subject, which opposes the subjectiveness. So again, the objective is something that one's effort or actions are intended to obtain or accomplish a purpose, goal, or the objective case is in grammar by a word or others belonging to the object of thought rather than to the thinking of the subject. Now, the subjective is existing in the mind, right? It's belonging to the thinking subject rather than the objective of thought, which is opposed to the objective. Now, to get more insight on that, in verse 6, it was saying how Israel conceived in whoredom. What does that mean? Well, the objective of why we were in a position of losing mercy was because we was going out following the heathen, celebrating holidays, right? Celebrating birthdays. We don't do that. We don't have that in our culture, right? The heathen is shown to give birthdays and all of that stuff. When you look at in the book of Genesis, chapter 40, right? When it was Pharaoh's birthday, he was going to make the baker the high chief baker or whatever. Again, that was Pharaoh. And then I want to say in the book of Mark, chapter 6, verse 27 through, I want to say 29. Again, it was talking about the herald's birthday, right? And again, we don't do that. All of those things are Gentiles. Those are heathen. But our people have been trained to follow that. You know, they celebrate Christmas, and the Bible tells us in the book of Yirmiyahu, chapter 10, verse 3 through 5, to not follow the heathen ways and deck the trees with silver and gold, right? That's heathen. But we have done these things, and this has caused us to lose mercy, right? That's the objective point. Now, the subjective point is Yahweh already said he is not coming to do battle on a physical playing field for Israel, but instead he is going to make a mental war, a spiritual war, that you have to put on the armors of salvation yourself by studying and showing yourself approved, right? Praise Yahweh. So again, the subjective is existing in the mind, again, and the objective is around because of your actions and your efforts. That's on the physical plane, okay? So oppose, again, is to act against or furnish resistance to, combat or hinder or obstruct. It's to be hostile with, as well as being the opposite, right? Now, the cases of this is the actual state of things, which is the questions and problems of moral conduct. Again, our moral conduct was jeopardized when we started to take hold on heathenistic ways, right? And it questioned our loyalty to Yahweh, which caused a problem for us now, didn't it? Right? And it shows forth that our actions actually hold weight, that it matters. Because based on the situation that we are in now in America, being a lost, dead-minded people with no hope that can't do business together unless we all getting a discount, but then how would the business thrive? But then you'll go to any other place and pay full price, no problem, right? It makes our hope lost because of the circumstances of being mentally dead, and then our unity being divided and separated have caused us to have a specific occurrence, which is a recurring discussion of why are black people like this? Well, we're like this because we're still following heathens. You're like this and you're still following false gods. You like this and you're still celebrating birthdays. You like this because you're still eating the abominable thing. I like this because your belly is your God and it leads you to destruction. Philippians 3:19. Well, like this is because the God you follow is gods of confusion. But like this because you have idols. The circumstances are like this is because we like to live on food stamps and government assistance without having to really work hard for any. We're like this because of so many things. Because we lack the judgment to make a clear decision. Because we don't investigate nothing. And the officials and law enforcement and authorities, say it's all these other things. And society make you feel like it's all these other things so that you don't argue with facts and evidence and falsehood and lies. You just go along with what you're being hand-fed like a little baby. And this is why a lot of our people, our young black men, we still call the house the crib. A crib is where you put your baby at. We still have a baby-like mentality. An age don't make you a man. Your mind is what makes you a man. Your mind is what makes you a woman. You know what I'm saying? An age don't mean nothing. That's just a number. But it's where your mind is at. It makes us have plight. And plight is a condition or state or situation, especially an unfavorable, an unfortunate. It's opposite. It's one troth and engagement to marry. We like to marry unfortunate events. We like to marry unfortunate conditions. We like to be around unfavorable situations. We married to it. Look at that. We have become bind. The pledge is a solemn promise or agreement, to do or refrain from doing something. Right? And we look at this from the eyes of Yirmiyahu 31, verse 31, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 8 and verse 13, as well as chapter 12 and 24. I'll go ahead and insert these videos or those readings right here. And what Yirmiyahu chapter 31, verse 31 says is this: Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah. See, we will obtain mercy again. All right. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8 and verse 13, as well as chapter 12, verse 24. Let's go take a look of what that reads. Let's see if we got some more mercy coming towards our way. Praise Yahweh. We got to make sure, right? Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8, right? For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah. Praise Yahweh. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. See, we will obtain mercy. Now, this does not mean you can continue to sin and Yahweh will not remember your sins and iniquities. I know we just read that, but that's not what that means. Because as we move forward in the word and we get to Hosea chapter 9, verse 8, 9, and 10, Yahweh says if you want to act out presumptuously and you don't want to change, then he is going to put all of that iniquity and all of that sin right on you. And he will visit you with that sin and that iniquity. And he will not pardon it, but he will execute judgment and destroy you. Okay? So that doesn't mean you have a free ride like how all these other religions saying, oh, my God died for my sins so I can live and do the things I want to do that the Bible told me I couldn't do, but it's the New Testament so we can do it because the Old Testament done away with. No, that's stupid. No. Again, what would be the point of the end of the world if you can just continue to live like how you living? It would be no point. So that's not what that's saying. Again. And we can just read a little bit of that too, just for like a little extra bonus. But yeah, just wanted to just point that out to you. You know what? While I got you right here, let's just go ahead and read a little bit of that, because I really got to stress this point out, because our people, man, they something else. They hear something that they assume that they can continue to live a certain way, and they don't got to change, and they won't. Hosea chapter 9, verse 8, 9, and 10. The watchman of Ephraim was with my God, but the prophet is a snare of a fowler in all his ways, and hatred is in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves as in the days of Gibeah. Therefore he will remember their iniquity, and he will visit their sins. Again, you don't want to change? Okay. Now, Ephraim means double-minded or double fruit, which is talking about being double-minded, playing the field, trying to serve two masters. Can't do that. You'll end up hating the one, trying to please the other, right? So these are the ones that say they have good in their heart, but their actions are evil, right? They say they believe in Yahweh, but their actions show otherwise, right? That's Ephraim, double fruit, okay? And Yahweh said he going to visit your iniquity on your head if you want to be Ephraim. You're going to be double-minded. You're going to play both sides of the field. And Yahweh got something for you. Praise Yahweh. Okay? So, I just wanted to just share that with you right there. Let's get back to the class. All right. Right? And with all the information we just got done studying from the book of Jeremiah 31 and 31, in Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8 and 13, and chapter 12, verse 24, we see that mercy is what we are lacking. We need mercy. We need that love. We need compassionate. Save is Yeshua. And it properly means to open wide or free. Yahweh ben Yahweh came to open wide our minds. Yahweh ben Yahweh came to free our minds from the mental shackles of falsehood. That is by implying safety, securing, avenging, delivering, rescuing, salvation, and Savior. Now, by is from the opinion of, evidence, or authority of, and it's with something at stake. It's like an agency that has its efficacies of works and participations and authority. And it's from the hand, which means, again, symbolic is yud, which is power, having the right power, the right mind, and receiving the right inventions of creativity to be born of holiness. Hosea chapter 1, verse 11. I'll give you a whole bunch of information right there. All right? A lot of definitions that was just compressed and just in Hosea chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. But this is what we need. We need to have an understanding of what is going on here. Right? Hosea chapter 1, verse 11. Then shall the children of Yehudah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, right? That's the Godhead. And they shall come up out of the land, right? For great shall be the day of Yezreel. And we're going to learn more about that in Ezekiel 28, verse 25 and 26, as well as in Acts chapter 17, verse 29, Romans chapter 1, verse 20, Colossians chapter 2, verse 9, and Revelation chapter 7, verse 4 through 8. There will be 12,000 per tribe to make 144,000, right? Ma'a abachim v'ba'a achleb, 144,000. Matei tribes, right? Look at that. as well as we're going to be looking at Genesis chapter 49, verse 8 through 10. Let's just read that really quick. Yehuda, thou art whom thy brothers shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Ooh, praise Yahweh. Now, it says that we're going to be gathered. Gathered is to grasp. That is collect, right? And that is kavatz, which is kov, beth, sach, de, sofe, kavatz. And that means to assemble and take up. Collect is to gather together and to regain control of oneself or one's thought, faculties, composures, or the like. The faculties is having the abilities and natural acquirements for particular kinds of actions, one of the powers of the mind, as memory, reason, or speech. The appointment is the primitive root, which is sum, which is sin, wav, mem, sofi, right? It is a primitive root pertaining to, which means suitable for, or characteristics of the earliest period of something, right? A great variety of applications of being literal, figurative, inferential, right? Elliptically, called a name, change, charged, considered, disposed, ordained, and preserved. Elliptically is with great economy of words or expressions, right? Consistently, which again, this is talking about us being put back into rulership. When we was Adam, we had power. We ruled the world as Adam, right? Adam, again, you should already know this. If you don't, Adam is not singular. Adam is plural. Adam is a tribe of people, as pointed out in Genesis chapter 5, right? Verse 1 through 3. It tells you that Adam was male and female. Yahweh called their name Adam, right? So that means, again, Adam was a tribe of people, which was us, the original man. We are the original man. Praise Yahweh. So with that knowledge right there, I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I pray that this class is exciting to you. We got a lot of information. The book of Hosea is a really good book to really dive into, because again, Hosea literally means deliverer. So this is going to be about the deliverance of Israel, but it's also going to give us a lot of backstory information on how we lost our mercy and how we're going to ascertain it back. Praise Yahweh. Okay. Again, I love you, family. Have a great evening. Shalom, shalom.